Here we go. Welcome, everybody, to The Worlds Don't Keep, episode 15. This is our, I don't even know how many live shows, but it's a live show. We're broadcasting right now on Ustream. As I said before, every fifth division, every fifth show is going to be a live show, and it's going to be all about Diablo 3. And as promised, show 15 is live right now. And we're going to be, hopefully, talking about Diablo 3. I don't know, we're kind of running on no show notes here tonight, as there is not really any new news on Diablo 3 as of yet. So we're going to be leaning on the audience for this show to provide us with topics to talk about. So, I guess we'll turn to the audience now for an interview question for this week. So, somebody ask us a random question. How about the male demon hunter pictures that came out? Oh, wait, they didn't. Yes, I heard about this. I don't know the full story, but from what I glean off what I've read on the forums, they were supposed to release the male demon hunter pictures sometime this week, but they didn't. Bummer.
It seems from the different things I've been looking at that they were actually going for like a lot more than just pictures. I guess they're trying to like surprise, hey, here's a whole bunch more than just a picture, but
maybe like I think intro video or something.
Yeah, and something actually, it seems like something came up, like the different skills, some of them weren't meshing properly, so they're going to take a little bit longer on it. It was one of those, they were trying to do something special and kind of just failed.
Right. I heard they were having a problem with like the animation or something, so they had to send it back to the animation department. So that makes me think they were doing like some type of video where they would showcase some animations, attacks or whatever.
Well, that's pretty much the quote on Twitter. They sent them back to animation due to some issues. They further elaborated and said, all animations are unique for each gender. Men don't move quite the same as women, even when shooting demons.
Right. I hope he wouldn't move the same as the female, because she was pretty hot, and a dude moving that way would kind of weird me out a bit.
Just a wee bit.
I hope if they're shooting the bows, they actually shoot them properly, unlike the Blood Elf female in World of Warcraft, who's going to break her spine in two the way she shoots the bow.
Yeah, I faded out by the Burning Crusade, so I never saw that, thank God.
Well, if you're any bit into archery, she holds the bow with her left hand and the arrow with her right hand, but has her right leg forward, which just
boom.
Yeah.
That'll hurt your back pretty good. Wrong leg forward.
All right, so how about that interview question? You shoot archery, eh? Does anybody shoot bows and or crossbows on the show?
Yeah, I'm not like super into it, but I do recurve. Compound is for sissies.
I did some archery back in Boy Scouts. It was a lot of fun. I actually want to buy a new bow and go shoot it. It was a lot of fun. My parents actually met in archery class in college. Cool story, bro. But yeah, archery is a lot of fun. I actually heard of this crazy crossbow that was like made out of a gun husk. I don't remember what it's called, but it's some gnarly crossbow.
Yeah, I saw this. I was testing this crossbow. I actually haven't ever actually used a crossbow, but I was messing around with one in a store, and it's huge crossbow. But the scope sight on it I could like pinpoint someone's head like very, very far away. Having that kind of equipment in my hands is scary, and that is what she said.
Nice.
Yeah, I did some archery back in Boy Scouts as well, but I enjoyed it, but I haven't kept up with it by any means.
There's just something about shooting a bow that's just badass. I mean, shooting guns is cool too. I do that a lot. I actually did that when I was in Colorado. My brother-in-law's got a bunch of guns, and we went sniping and all that fun stuff. But there's just something about shooting a bow. It's pretty difficult to do right, so I guess when you do it right and like hit where you want to hit, it's more impressive.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually shot an arrow, but definitely guns. But I think it'd be cool. I'm pretty much down for anything as far as that's concerned.
It's a lot of fun. If you're going with like a recurve for your first archery experience, I would bring a arm brace. I don't need one because I know how to shoot one. But if you're going your first time, a lot of people smack their arm because they're not necessarily shooting properly.
Right.
And it hurts. It hurts a lot if you smack your arm with it.
There is a technique to it.
Imagine so.
And actually, if you have little girly hands, you're gonna want to have a shooting glove as well because you'll tear your fingers up pretty good on the string.
Yikes. Yeah. Favorite bow and or crossbow in Diablo 1 and Diablo 2? Well, the most famous one, of course, is the Wind Force, right?
In both of them, that's my answer for both.
It's
pretty much.
That's true. And it was the best for a time in both.
Okay, so this is what bothers me now that we're on the Wind Force thing. So I had the Wind Force on my Amazon back, way back in the day in Diablo 2, before I stopped playing. And, it was awesome. It did all this knockback stuff and, it was sweet for killing cows. And then after I came back a few years later, the Wind Force doesn't do its knockback anymore, but it still says it does. What happened?
Really?
Somebody explain this to me. What happened? Why does my Wind Force suck now? I mean, I know it's not the best bow in the game, but it was still sweet to use.
Yeah.
What did they do to it?
Force. I have no idea. They messed up a lot of stuff.
Well, like the Wind Force with guided arrow and that piercing shot or whatever, where it pierced, you just have somebody completely locked, and by somebody I mean monsters, because PvP and D2 was LOL.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible in PvP, and it's one of the reasons why I never got fully invested into playing in Amazon was because I so resented the people that played Amazons. It's like, you have no skill whatsoever. It angers me greatly. So I made a point of killing people with unusual builds. There were times when I would out micro someone with a throwing barb and kill them. I would use doorways, hallways, whatever it took. I was going to kill them.
I can shoot my guided arrow around the corner, though. You're screwed, dude.
That's the trick with houses. It's a little bit harder to do in that context.
Yeah, because it can't go through walls, and if it hits a wall, it's dead.
Yep.
There are ways around it. Just had to be a more skilled player. I was a little kid and a noob at the time, so I was just like, yeah, guided arrow, die! Zimnipot says, I love throwing barbs. They were fun to play. I never played one, I don't think.
Yeah, they're pretty fantastic.
Oh, they are. They're hilarious.
The only main issue is that they don't really design items for them, and the actual attack range is very small. But hey, if you like specialty builds like I do, you pretty much do anything.
Yeah, you seem to be the one that goes off on the strange build, out of the norm.
Oh yeah.
As far as
outside the box.
Fun to play for barbs, throwing was up there just because it's so funny how fast a dual wield throwing axe was just really funny. But I have to say Frenzy was really, really fun just with how fast you can
Frenzy was awesome.
I would just run up to a group of guys and smack on them and then just run across the map. You could clear it in 2 seconds. It was hilarious.
Frenzy
the guy sucked.
Awesome.
He couldn't kill anything, but it's hilarious.
My highest level barbarian was actually a Frenzy barb. He's somewhere in the 90s, I forget. But yeah, that's how much I like.
Turbo barb.
I really miss Lance barbs back in D2 original before all the
My friend was obsessed with Lance barbarians. I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I'd ever seen. I was like,
so awesome.
Put down the stick and pick up an axe or a sword, buddy.
It's like you didn't care. You were destroying everything.
He did. He kicked some ass with his Lance barb.
It was a Maul barbarian when everyone was doing the Lance barb. And the reason I was Maul was because it was the best item I found, so went with Maul. I found a really good, rare, two-handed Maul.
Sorry, everybody. As I promised before, my internet dropped. God willing, we'll be able to get through the show without it dropping again, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. Next time I'm just gonna record from somewhere else, not my house.
Buy a new router, slacker.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'm just gonna go over to my sister's house. She's got better internet than I do anyway. Anyways, where were we?
Oh, reminiscing of the old D2 builds.
I love how it's supposed to be about Diablo 3, yet we're still talking about Diablo 2, which I'm totally fine with.
It must be all this wonderful news and input.
I
given
know,
directly
Blizzard
from
has
the
just
source.
been, in the Christmas spirit lately, giving out just oodles and oodles of information. Not.
Well, like, what have we gotten recently? There was the informal conversation about difficulty. There was the no-show on the male demon hunter art. I still stand that my proposal is really where it should be.
Your proposal? What was that?
I posted
I
posted some concept art on the forums. 1 part Zoolander, 1 part leather and buckles, 2 parts Arnold Schwarzenegger, 1 part that dude from Jersey Shore with the abs, and 1 part David Bowie circa The Labyrinth.
Nice. You need to find that picture. We'll throw it up for the audience.
That's spectacular. I'll find it right now.
You know what's cool? So I'm also following this certain game that involves wars in the stars and a republic that may or may not be old. And they give updates pretty much weekly.
Oh, in a perfect world, Blizzard would too.
Here we go.
And you
here
want to
we
know
go.
why? It's because the company there is Canadian. And that's what happens. That's what happens.
You know what? I have no doubt about that. I have not met a evil Canadian or just like a mean person. I have a art teacher this semester who's Canadian, and he actually has some pretty famous work. His name's Ken Jordry, but
That's
yeah,
me.
and he's Canadian. He's the man. Good old Ken.
I mean, like, sometimes all they're doing is giving, just screenshots or,
It's still something,
talking
though.
about one of their new worlds that they opened up. Like, oh, here's a planet named Qesh. Here's a brief description of it. Cool. Like, honestly, Blizzard could get away with, showing us a picture of a tree. And I would be satisfied. This is a concept art of a tree you'll run into in Act 3.
And they would promote a week-long discussion, and the next week they'll release
A rock.
something else. Yeah, exactly.
A rock
So
next
how about
to
that
the
rock?
tree.
You'll have people on both sides. I don't like the shadows on that rock. It doesn't fit in the Diablo universe.
10-page
It's too friendly.
forum thread post.
What a terrible rock.
Why
Wow.
is that rock not crying? Why is it not bleeding? Why is there not black? Why is it not a black rock? I don't understand.
Racist.
You like the picture I posted on Ustream there, Dan?
It didn't work for me. It just brought me to Google Images with no image.
Oh, that sucks.
Male Demon Hunter. Nice.
Let me see about this.
Oh, no. I like his
All right.
bush.
Yeah, I was about to say, that black hair is definitely not his natural hair color.
That link work?
Yep, sure did.
Cool beans.
Oh, David Bowie. And I'm sitting in a tin can. We have no audience input right now. I'm wondering if everyone can hear us or not.
Well,
I think they'll sleep.
Is anyone alive out there?
they pretty much died down after the complaining about Blizzard ended.
Oh.
I'm not complaining per se, because I am, but it's throw me a freaking bone here, people.
I've heard Bastioc's been MIA on the forums too.
That's true.
Maybe
It's
they got
'cause the
something
forums
crazy
are
going
filled with
on.
Poop.
It's like I need a break. I'm about ready to slip my wrists having to read all these retarded posts. Guys, we
He
got
made one crack about in that thread of, I don't know, something about the ramp of information, and he's, who disturbs my slumber?
Oh,
So that was it.
rude. Is no news good news?
Did Did anyone have a chance to check out that Magica game that Templar posted?
Magic game? No, what magic game?
It's Magica.
Yeah.
Magica.
You know, I did check it out, and I can't for the life of me remember anything about it now. If that's any sign.
There's like, eight elements, and you just like it seems like it's just sort of that really advanced like Warcraft 3 map where you just combine the different elements and they make different spells.
Oh yeah, I do remember it now.
It was neat, but the weirdest part about it is there's absolutely no loot at all or experience. There's like no progression. You're just as powerful in the beginning of the game as you are at the end. It's really weird.
That's definitely not a new concept. One of the first to really try to exploit it was what was that game? Oh yeah, Guild Wars, only level 20 max. So they were kind of the first to really start toning that aspect of it down to appeal to people. But there was a big MMO that was going to come out, probably released a while
Rift?
back. I don't know. No, wasn't Rift.
Holy, Rift has like 1 million classes in it. It's insane.
Really?
Oh my gosh. And they're not even all announced yet. There's like 12 more coming.
Jeez. A little excessive.
Yeah.
No, I did check out Rift, but yeah, that's not what I was talking about.
The only thing I saw about it was in an ad in my PC Gamer magazine. It's like, we're not in Azeroth anymore. I was like,
Nice.
fun. Game looks cool. Still not going to play it, but yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. Go straight for World of Warcraft. That's going to end very well for you.
Yeah, really.
See, here's the thing. You gotta be, if you're gonna come into the MMO market at this time, you gotta be like DC Universe, who didn't even try to even look at the WoW market at all. It's completely different, plays completely different, is just not even remotely close to World of Warcraft, and it's actually a really good game. It's pretty fun.
No, you've got it all wrong. You've got it backwards. The way to do it is to try and directly challenge WoW, just like the 700 MMOs. I mean, it's got to work one of these days. So at this point, statistically speaking, your chance is bound to come up, and it's going to work this time. Just charge head on at World of Warcraft and try and beat them at their own game. They've got 7 years of momentum and 11 players.
300 times the charm, right? Is that how it goes?
It's just like a slot machine. Once the old lady has run out of coins, you sit in her chair and start throwing coins into that machine. Eventually, it will pop out gold.
Exactly, except in this case, all you've got to do is wrestle her out of her chair, and then you're golden.
Her and her big black bodyguard named George.
Your coin actually represents about $1 million, and you only get one of them. So... yeah.
Oh, one thing we didn't talk about was the Cataclysm release, or did we? Is anybody playing that?
No.
Yes.
I just stated MMOs are all dead to me.
Oh, I actually got my 10-day free trial of it and jumped on, and I made a Death Knight since I wasn't around for that, and I made a Goblin, and it was pretty fun, but it didn't grab me.
They've done a lot of things right with this one.
Yeah.
It's pretty good, but I don't really care. It's fun. Like they actually have the progression going from like questing gear into like instance gear into heroics. They finally have that right.
Huh.
Like heroics are just the right difficulty. You can't run in there and just like AoE everything down. It's good. I don't know. Whatever. They did a lot. I mean, they've learned their lesson. They're Blizzard. It's their third expansion for the game. They know what they're doing.
Are you sure?
Which actually makes me super excited for the third expansion that's going to come out for Diablo 3.
Damn Skippy.
Actually, I'm just excited
before the
idea.
expansion comes out. I want Diablo first. Thank you.
But still, like the idea that there's going to be more than one expansion for it.
Yeah, that was a pretty fantastic announcement if ever I heard one.
Yeah, but right now it's a far-off dream.
Yeah.
I mean, if the game was actually out, I'd be like, yeah, right on, I can wait till then. You know, take your time with it. I got Diablo 3 to occupy my time with.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, it's kind of like, give us something.
Sits for we're so used to playing the same game for like a decade. You could seriously take like another 5 years on that expansion and no one would even notice.
No, it would come out and people would be like, "Really? This soon?"
Really? I don't have every single spec possible maxed out yet. I'm only on my 27th wizard. Come on.
All right, I guess if I must, why not? Bring it on.
I haven't hit my character account limit for my account or whatever, my character limit. A nuclear device stored under Blizzard Entertainment's headquarters.
Yeah, that about sums it
To
up.
answer that question. So this Zimnipot asks, what would you like to see in a possible World of Diablo MMO? And I would like to see whoever was responsible for it murdered. Possibly publicly flayed. No, definitely publicly flayed.
Yeah.
Benito Mussolini style. Just goes to
And
the
the
crowd and
re-
everybody pummels him.
Yeah. And the reason for that is just because action RPG in the style of an MMO, what?
Fail.
No, I wouldn't really want to see a World of Diablo.
Torchlight.
Or you're just talking about like World of Warcraft with Diablo skins. Like, I don't know. I mean, action RPG doesn't really work as an MMO because that's too many people all sharing that. Can you imagine going into like the starting area? Everything would be dead constantly. Or if it was in like a traditional MMO style, just with Diablo themed, it's like, well, why don't I just play World of Warcraft? It's been around longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, what it comes down to, anytime that you look at a game transition like that, the gameplay suffers so much, it's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, Warcraft works because it's a very archetypical, however you say that, type of game. Like it's a very generic fantasy style game, and that's what people like. And then like, Diablo. People play Diablo because they don't want to play WoW.
Yeah. Pretty much.
We want to play a game where you're not sitting down like that and having to spend that much time. You can go in, kill stuff for 15 minutes, and if that's all the time you have, cool, you actually progressed, you did something. If you have 15 minutes in WoW, you can do a daily. That's it.
Yeah. Plus, there isn't such a reliance on like other people when you play Diablo, so much as there is in WoW. Like you have to join up with people in WoW if you want to do any of the like the end game stuff, any dungeons,
Okay.
any raiding, any of that.
Let's put things into perspective here. You have 15 minutes on Diablo. What did you accomplish, Joe?
A number of different things. I killed Bale 15 times.
All right. Now, by contrast, you have 15 minutes on WoW. What did you accomplish? You may have caught 17 fish. Maybe 18.
Wait. You're thinking of Torchlight, right?
No.
Ah,
No.
Torchlight.
I get my fishing games confused. Oh, I mean action RPGs, not fishing. Right?
Something like that.
It was funny. I loaded up my Steam client for the first time in like 6 months, and I saw Torchlight was still there, and I was like, "Hey, I want." Oh no, I don't want to play that game.
There's your endless dungeon right there.
Yep, there it is. We discussed that on the last show. Want an endless dungeon? Go play Torchlight. Knock yourself out. I'm gonna be over here in Diablo 3, killed some demons in my non-endless dungeon. Getting to the end, finding a boss. 1,000-pounder. God, I just want to play already. Thinking about it gets me so antsy. I was reading the forums today on like the posts that are about like stuff in Diablo 3 where I can actually picture happening. I'm just like, I want to play.
Just think of how many 1,000-pounders you could have killed by now.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would you go? Dictionary.com's free as well.
No.
Oh, I didn't notice there was a difference there. Yeah, I do use dictionary.com.
I love dictionary.com. If I Google something and something other than dictionary.com comes up, I'm like, oh, where's my dictionary.com link?
Nice.
That's funny. Zilnaga says the 1,000-pounder makes him think of a quarter pounder with cheese. That is a very large quarter pounder. I don't think it's a quarter pounder anymore.
Royale with cheese.
Quarter tonner. But yeah.
I think we kind of talked a little bit about what Rothgar is saying. What kind of game types would you like for Diablo? Like, I don't know, PvP style, right?
Oh, yeah. Not capture the flag.
Capture the flag is lame.
I would like to see something more than a 4,
No.
2.
I just pictured a gigantic barbarian wearing all pink, frolicking across the PvP field, holding a flag in his hand. I like this thought. Let's do this. La! Hey guys, I got it.
Hey, I got the flag.
Actually, you guys
Ouch,
seen?
that hurt.
Have you guys seen 30 Rock?
Yeah.
I could see him
Love that
talking
show.
like Kenneth
Like
on the
Kenneth.
show. Yeah.
Dude, I watched
This
Despicable
is swell, guys. Let's do this.
I watched Despicable Me, and they had his voice in it, and I was just like, I couldn't get into that character because I was like, dude, that's Kenneth right there.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. Mine shaped like a dead guy. Murder Ball. What's Murder Ball?
I have no idea.
Explain
Isn't
yourself,
that
Roth.
where you have one person with the ball and everyone's like lined up against a wall and you just chuck it as hard as you can at the people?
I don't know. Maybe it's one person has the ball and everybody goes and tries to kill him, and you have to see how long you can last.
I would like to do that, except I want to be the one killing everybody. So you just have everyone lined up against the wall, and I shoot, I don't know, frozen orbs?
Bola shots these days.
There's a topic: types of mercenaries in Diablo 3. Speculation.
That'd be funny. Hey, let's hire on that necromancer. He's got golems he can summon.
Types of mercenaries.
Necromancer mercenaries. That's interesting.
I
don't see it
pray
happening.
that never happens.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. They would like really cheapen the necromancer and make him a bitch.
Especially since he played such a pivotal role in pretty much every single book that ever came out,
Yeah.
with the exception of the very first one.
It's probably honestly going to be like more of the same. Like you can hire on some sissy barbs or some other dudes. They have a desert theme, so I imagine maybe Al Hazir will be back. Was that his name?
Oh yeah. The Act 2 mercenary.
Maybe he'll still be around. Just, ancient and still kicking ass. That would be awesome.
It'd be like Cain and the male barbarian, and gosh, how many old folks are there now?
There's a lot of geriatric people in this game.
Somehow they all survive. Oh, poor Ken.
So actually, Rothgar explained it. I don't know. It's I've seen this in other, like Halo had it. It's two teams fighting over a skull. It's a keep away game. Whoever has the skull gets points. As you're holding it, your team gets points. I could actually see that working, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like you just have like some, I don't know, magical testicle that they have to carry or whatever.
No.
Something. You could have something Diablo thing, like a skull. Like honestly, a skull works for Diablo.
It does.
I was
demon
gonna
head
say
does.
if we're going the Diablo route, all you got to do is say the magical ear.
Yeah.
Everyone would jump on board for that one.
The gold
There you
ear or
go.
something.
That's how they're going to implement ears in the game. It's the thing you have to carry in the. That's funny. Well, yeah, no, like that. That would be. It'd just be splatting all over the place. I could see people. Oh, you know what? There's something. Are players going to die as amazing as the monsters do? Like if I hit you with something with fire, is your corpse going to burn up?
I certainly hope so. Well, we did have that preview in one of the videos where the Siege Breaker freaking takes a bite, bites him in half, bites that barbarian in half.
So the monsters have their special kills, but do like players killing other players have special kills as well?
That would be
like,
interesting.
So like if I hit you with something acid, is your body going to melt?
Right. I never thought about that before, but
I don't think in the PvP demo they did. I don't think so at this point.
hey, it's not too late to implement it. That would be freaking rad.
Oh no, not at all. I think that'd be sweet for like a game with like a big old PvP match, just people melting all over the place.
Yeah. And then the next round starts and there's still like melted corpses and skeletons and stuff there. That'd be rad.
Although I don't know if that might require just too much special animation with the characters because of how they work. They're specific models. I don't know.
Frozmooses says at the end of the PvP trailer, the bard beheads the wizard. I don't remember that. I'm gonna have
Don't.
to go back and check that out.
So, he might be
Suggesting it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I would have remembered that because I definitely remember the barbarian being beheaded in that first video, which was fantastic.
Well, it's not so much like special like beheading. I don't know. I mean, you could have that because I guess a lot of like a whirlwind would definitely decapitate someone.
Yeah.
So you can just have decapitation for any like specific melee thing. But I'm more talking about the spell effects because I'm probably primarily going to be a wizard, so I want to see people melting.
Definitely.
Like when I disintegrate you, you better disintegrate. Although I probably won't get disintegrate, at least not off my first wizard. But still.
How many deaths can you think of for one class? There are endless possibilities to that. Are you kidding me?
I have a pretty morbid mind. I could
yeah.
Bro.
Dude, just thinking about that gets me excited. Like, if I worked at Blizzard, I'd be like, dude, we have to do this. There's so much potential here.
Send this podcast to Blizzard. They have to hear this.
I know. Stop the presses.
Skip for it. Tell them to bring it up in their meeting with Activision next month.
I'd be picking sides.
What is that, like a shareholders meeting or something they're having?
Correct.
Shareholders meeting?
Shareholders need to know. Hey, well, why aren't you at that meeting?
I know. Why am I not at that meeting? I didn't even know it was happening.
Nobody told me.
What's the quarterly statement, Joe? You're supposed to know.
I don't know, guys. But hey,
here you go.
No, I am a shareholder.
So
I'll look into that.
Salmon here
actually
brought up a good point. So we've all said which class we're probably going to play first, but what build are we going to do first with our classes?
We don't even know all of them yet, do we?
Most of it's out. I mean, might be a little bit sketchy if you're planning Demon Hunter.
Yeah, I think I was planning Demon
like
Hunter.
Like Witch Doctor wave your
Bola shot.
I'm going straight Bola.
I'm gonna give everyone Ebola. I'll do it.
Ebola virus.
That's actually her new shot. Ebola shot evolves into Ebola shot.
Exactly, it's a rune.
You just shoot it once and it spreads to the rest of the entire dungeon you're in.
Wind.
What's the death rate on that? Like, I don't know, 24 hours later, everybody's dead. Just wear a mask.
Well, she pretty much already has that covered if you look at the concept art.
And
hey, maybe that's why the male demon hunter had to go back. They forgot the
Ebola?
mask.
No, yeah. Ebola shot at his foot. I don't know. Misfire on the Ebola shot. Backfire.
Exactly.
I could go on. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do with my wizard. I've been looking at a bunch of different builds there. It's tough. It's tough. It's because like looking at it is one thing, but actually playing it's gonna be something different.
Right.
It's like that sounds cool, but it's not actually doing what I want it to do. Like disintegrate sound and looks cool, but as how I play, I don't like being stationary as a wizard ever. I don't like the idea of standing still. That scares me. So
yeah, you'd have to go
the
diamond armor and the freaking
diamond
clones.
armor was sweet. I don't know about the clones.
If they all do the disintegrate, it would work pretty well, I think. That's how you get around a lot of that kind of stuff. Just wouldn't help you much for things like whirlwind.
Diamond skin is what you use for whirlwind. Oh, that was so beautiful. I'd have like,
you trailing off there in recollection.
I was back at BlizzCon. I was done.
Oh, dick. Rub it in
You
some
just
more.
pulled me out of it. Way to go. I was having the best dream ever.
Welcome to the rest of our lives.
I know, right? At least you've played it. In a way, though, I think
Twice.
that would kind of be worse, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe it's just that theory of, like, it's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
No, I hate that theory. But no, like, honestly, it brings me joy whenever I'm, like, at work or anyone mentions Diablo, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I've played it, and just, like, the expression of sadness on their face when they realize they're just not as cool as me, it keeps me going.
Feeds the fire. Fuel for the fire.
Yeah,
Keep it going.
like, you know what? I can go another week.
You should just wear a t-shirt, I've played Diablo 3.
You might get
I'm gonna-
stoned in public, but that's all right.
You know what? The only thing I have to wear to work is a collared shirt. It can be any kind of shirt as long as it's collared, and black shoes. So like, if I wear a collared shirt that says I've played Diablo 2 or Diablo 3, and on the back of it it says that makes me better than you. So it's like people are, hey, can I get what blah blah blah, and I'll turn around and
Oh,
I'll go
no.
get that for you, and I'll just reach up. Yeah, they can see it.
If
You
we
need
ever
to make sure it is a pink shirt with a unicorn on it, just to finish the.
What was that about? Okay, Diablo's definitely still kicking around. Were the other two in the same boat as Diablo?
Bale and Mephisto.
We just sent them back to hell, or is it up in the air with Mephisto and Bale?
I
Well,
haven't heard
according
anything
to the-
on that front.
According to the lore, if you really think about it, killing Diablo 1 into Diablo 2 into Diablo 3, it still makes sense because you never actually fight his true form. The only reason that you had to fight him twice in the previous titles was because he was bound to the Soul Stone, which is no longer an issue as the World Stone is now gone. So it's not like they
So
can't
they're
bring
not
him back
bound to the
anytime.
Soul Stones now.
Right.
Ooh.
So
So they can bring him back now.
So what you're telling me is there won't be a Diablo 4. I hate you.
hey, don't shoot the messenger.
Just kidding.
They'll find a way to bring him back. They'll write a new book.
No, it's Diablo's son. Diablo.
Mini Diablo.
Mini Diablo.
Well, not to mention, they did explicitly say that this would be the final installment. It would actually end the story arc that they started. So,
They said
Yeah.
that?
yeah, take that however you wish.
Damn, where have I been?
Well, the expansions are going to be released so long as they feel there's still more story to tell.
Right. What's
Yeah.
interesting is they said even though this will end the story, they could still return to the the universe of Sanctuary, as it were, anytime that they want. It just won't be within the same story arc.
Huh.
Well, and one of the from a business perspective, it makes sense. I mean, if we're looking at Blizzard's next gen MMO that they've what is it, codename Titan?
Yeah.
They're now reaching a point where they really do need to refresh their. They need new IPs, basically, and they need to start generating those. They need to start ending their existing IPs now, and generating new ones in a transition. Otherwise, they're going to end up in the same place as Friday the 13th, episode 30.
Well, I don't know. It's sad to think about Diablo ending, but if they get to a point where they drag it on to where it shouldn't be, then I'd rather have it end.
Let's look at how long Diablo 2 lasted. Diablo 3 is going to last even longer, and then there's going to be 3, 4, 5 expansions. So we're looking at Diablo being like done in about 75 years.
Excellent. Perfect timing. I'll be old and crusty by then.
Are you concerned
will-
that your children will not appreciate Diablo 4?
Yeah.
I mean,
You will be blind before you're done playing Diablo. So, no worries.
Well, by that point, they'll have eye implants and all that. I can get freaking
Ah,
robot
we'll be
eyes, dude.
We'll be playing Diablo in our brain.
I'll be a head in a jar.
That's right.
somebody's been watching Futurama 1, 2, 3 times.
I was going for pure ownage, but definitely Futurama works too.
Good news, everyone! I've just logged on to AOL. Fantastic.
But yeah, in all seriousness, Diablo's going to be going for no worries about that.
Yeah.
I know I'll definitely play it till I'm sterile.
Ooh.
If you play with a laptop, it'll be up.
Definitely. Cancer and have giant balls like that episode of South Park. They will become your chair. And then there were 3. Ken has moved
I could
on
say
to greener pastures, everyone. Ken is no longer with us. He's
I
here
wish
in
I could
spirit,
say that
though.
about the game.
What's that?
Don't you wish you could say, and then there were 3 about the game?
Oh, I do.
But alas.
All good things must come to an end.
Indeed. Ooh, which thread is that, Zelnaga?
Thread. It's time to play the game. What's new on the forums?
Ah, stale news.
Let's.
Yeah. There wasn't really much point in posting in that one at all. What do you think? Coolest new monster?
Coolest new monster. What have we seen of new monsters?
I really like that video of the big fat one falling over and its gut spilling out and grossing out the audience. That was pretty fantastic.
Wait. Which one is that? Is that one of those just fat dudes that when they pop out, a bunch of maggots come out? A bunch of worms?
Oh, no. This was on the BlizzCon panel.
Oh, right. I watched that.
Yeah, that was pretty excellent.
I'll have to watch that again because it's been a while since I've seen that, and I don't quite remember it. Hey, look who decided to show. Chick's here.
I'd really like to see some demons, but, we won't really see those until probably after the game comes out because they're not very good at updating.
Yeah.
Not gonna see any Balrog types, I would imagine, at all until, some independent site produces it from playing the game. So,
I have to say my favorite monster that I've seen so far has got to be a vessel. I mean, concept art-wise and just, the way they look is pretty badass. Gameplay-wise, though, it'd probably be different. I really like the Siege Breaker, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun to fight him.
Oh, yeah. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back.
All right. And then there were two. Though really just one. Because Dan's being quiet. What's up, everybody? Somebody talk to me. I'm feeling lonely. Oh, hey. Hey, how's it going?
It's going chaotic. Everything's flying around my head.
So what's going on in your world over there?
Right now we're actually in the middle of pizza and Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
So
what kind of pizza?
What kind of pizza? There was a Hawaiian and a one with a lot of stuff on it that I don't eat.
Right on. Pizza night. Pizza night is always a good night. Chick, you missed about an hour of the show. Ken just left, and we are carrying on.
So now, as far as I do agree with you about the vessels, I really like the concept art for them. I think it's totally top notch. And from what I've seen of the gameplay, they do look like they're going to be interesting to fight.
Definitely.
And this kind of goes to, there's two things that I'm seeing kind of interconnecting. There's the encounter system that they previewed, which we talked about in the last episode, and also that informal chat between Bashiok and Ink Gaming kind of indicates that what they're going to do, what they're trying to do, and time will tell whether or not they're successful with this, is that they want to up the difficulty by basically just making more complex encounters. So not necessarily it will be larger encounters, but it'll also be more complicated. So now what happens if we saw that one where it was all the vessels, pounding their stabs, getting ready to transform, and you've got to kill them all.
Right.
Now what happens if we take that and we throw in a couple, two unburied at the same time?
Sounds like fun. My kind of party.
Yeah, because then, you're creating difficulty by having monsters that you need to take care of in a certain way, different strategies that are effective against different types of monsters as far as, hit and run versus stand and burn.
Right.
And combining those together to create interesting dynamics. And when you've got conflicting interests, okay, well, this one's a stand and burn, but these ones are hit and run, then that creates an aspect of a dimension of difficulty.
Right. Adds a certain amount of chaos to the fight.
Yeah, we were just talking about the ones in Act 2. The Tomb Vipers seemed to have invisibility that they would use, and you'd see little orbs of light when they were actually that in-between stage. And then in the more open area, you'd have the ones that were kind of popping in and out of existence. It looked like they were maybe short-range teleporting. But creatures like that, they kind of make you wonder just how much more complex it'll be once you hit about Act 2. You have those desert wasps shooting at you. You have guys that are popping up that you didn't
Out
see.
of the sand.
Yeah. Other ones that are blinking next to you, and the whole while you got like a little army of fallen heading towards you. So.
But everything will be okay, because you'll still be a badass.
Oh yeah, remember the concept art for the Mistress of Pain?
Is that spider chick?
That's the spider chick.
Dude. Spiders, man. I'm telling you.
I really like the little notes they put on those concept art pictures, and they're like, okay, we're gonna have the web come out of the back and slow people down when they try to engage, and we're gonna have some little explosions going on here, and just little tidbits that make you wonder.
It's little notes, like on the vessel's concept art, they mentioned that his head's supposed to be like thrashing around in a like possessed demonic way, uncontrollable, just awesome as he's moving around, and I can totally picture that.
Certainly, I think all of us could, especially since with the videos that did come out, you do see a good bit of just how they move and all that kind of stuff as well. Oh yeah, did you guys in the audience catch why they called them dervishes?
I certainly did not.
Yeah, they're actually Middle
heads.
Eastern religious folk. They call them the whirling dervishes, and they actually have these almost skirt type things as they spin. Oh yeah, Turkish. There you go.
Huh. I didn't know that.
Yeah, pretty much everything comes from something else. It's always interesting. Dancing turkeys. So, next community question. Belial concept. Oh yeah, you remember this?
I'm bringing it up. No, what is this?
Yeah, that's the Belial concept art.
Belial, huh?
Yeah, the Lord of Lies.
Dude, he looks gnarly.
Yeah, actually in the Legacy of Blood, the lore bit that we're in right now, Zazax was actually a servant of Belial.
Where are all these concept art pictures from? Because I've never seen them before.
That was from one of the demo type things they released. I do recall seeing these. I don't specifically remember from where. It's definitely been around a while.
Taking it BlizzCon.
Yeah, How many BlizzCons ago was that? Like, was it 2 or 3? Yeah, 2008 sounds about right.
He looks badass. In Planet Nerd, we measured time in BlizzCons.
Okay, here's the real question, I think. Out of these 3 concept art pictures,
Which one
do you
like
think is the best? Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're different forms that he evolves during the fight. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it would make sense given his title and role. He'd be a big deceiver, so he changes forms. But yeah, out of the group, I'm leaning more toward the center one.
Yeah, I think so too.
I
That
like
interesting.
the far
That put in throw in an interesting dynamic into it. If depending on what form he's in, changes the fight up.
I do like the large sweeping horns on the top one. The ram horns on the left is too normal, but I kind of like the difference of the studs. That kind of circular shape to the head on the far right one.
Right.
It's different. It's more subtle. I mean, that might make it a worse silhouette. But the longer I look at it, the more I like that far right one.
Yeah, it's also really interesting noting the differentials in the mouth. You can't really see the first one, but the middle one looks almost like the bone structure of a horse, and the third one almost looks like it has, just rows and rows of fangs all pointing into a very small area.
There's also like a smoky feel to the one on the far right, leading me to believe that I don't know. I could picture him moving around and like teleporting around in smoke, going to a point where you can't hit him because he's in
Yeah.
smoke form or something like that.
I could just imagine every time he teleports, he would actually change form and thereby, go from melee to range to caster or something
Right.
like that. That'd be pretty
Dude, that would be
spectacular.
such a fun fight.
And if you notice, what they have said in the past is that they want the boss fights to be multi-staged, in just how the 1,000-pounder had 2 stages. It's
Right.
very simplistic, very straightforward, but just imagine that for, a fight with Diablo or Belial or, something like that.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the 1,000-pounder in the video, he gets to a certain point. I don't know if it's like a percentage of life or whatnot, but then he goes into like fury or frenzy mode or something like that.
Yeah, it
Fight
seems like
gets
once he
harder.
hits about 50% or 25%, he goes all berserk mode.
Yeah, berserker. Be
I
cool
think
to see
17
more
is too
dynamic
much.
boss fights.
Okay, in addressing Chick's question earlier here, so what do you think about the ways Diablo can come back? Because there's a lot of speculation going on the 3. Kind of already answered that. Will be
Ooh,
one monster the Hydra?
ooh, gross. I don't like that idea.
Yeah, I'm not.
They're,
I think
they're
everyone
too
kind
like
of.
they're too special to be lumped in together, you know? They each have their own thing going on, and I think just throwing them together kind of like takes away some of that specialness of each character.
It would also make you wonder what they would put as fillers for not only the fact that we're going to have still, 4 acts in the initial release, but with 2 expansions, that's going to be 2 more primary bosses at least.
Yeah, I don't see it happening.
And there aren't too many Lords of Hell to begin with. I mean, after the 3 left, you have Belial and Osmodon, pretty much in a stalemate for power. So even with all of them combined, that's 5.
Yeah, before we mentioned in the books, Diablo can have many forms, and he takes the form of what you're most afraid of. Gameplay-wise, I don't see that happening because that's like kind of a personal thing of what you would be afraid of, and there's just no way they could do that, figure it out. So he's gonna have his probably traditional Diablo form, though all Diablo 3-eyed. As we see in the
What?
video, he's got like mouse on his shoulders, if that is in fact Diablo.
Yeah. What class do you think we'll get in the expansions?
Interesting question. Druid again? Um, I don't know.
Well, let's think about this for a moment. Diablo 2 had the Barbarian, the Paladin, the Necromancer, the Amazon, uh, and then later the Druid and the Assassin, and also the Sorceress. So we have in the initial release main archetypes: fighter class, range class, a hybrid class that does basically melee and magic, pure magic, and see what I leave out. Oh yeah, the Necromancer. Necromancer was basically
Pet
pets.
class. Yeah, pet class. So what it'll boil down to is what do they feel that they're missing in the game that they want to bring in with the expansion?
There will never be a healer. Don't even start that crap.
No, there won't be a healer.
So what we're really left with are hybrid classes. Druid fulfilled that because, okay, you had transformation that was kind of new. You had pet usage, and then you had pure spell usage, depending on which tree you went. The assassin is kind of already absorbed by 2 classes. So right off the bat, we know that the assassin won't return. I think that's pretty
Right.
clear.
They split her into 2 different classes.
Right. Shapeshifter's a real possibility, though. I doubt it'll be a druid, though. I think if anything, they're going to try a new class that'll be a shapeshifter.
Yeah, I don't see them doing something like the druid specifically because the same problem they had with the assassin where you were trying to do too many things with one class. If they were to do a druid type, it would be split into 2 different characters like the assassin would. There would be a shapeshifter and another different pet class.
To a certain degree, I don't think they're necessarily even going to approach additional classes in the expansion from, the viewpoint of like, okay, well, what are we missing in terms of archetypes or hybrids or whatnot? Because they've gone to sort of great lengths to cover the bases with these initial ones. The only one that they've really left out, and we've talked about it before with the barbarian, is sort of the paladin defensive type, and whether or not that even fits is a long rant that we've had before. But I think with the expansions, it gives them an opportunity to look not necessarily at role, but more at flavor. If it's the second or the third expansion, then stepping on toes isn't quite as big of a deal if it gives somebody a different, it's green instead of black, or it's shiny instead of shadowy, or whatever, just a different flavor approach to doing the same thing.
Right, and certainly when you look at the actual gameplay mechanics of a Fury Druid, it was pretty much the exact same as a Zealer Paladin. There was only a difference in the animation, the weapon type, and essentially what kind of buffs they had. So my guess would be, since they are going to try and spread it out, and it seems like 2 expansions is most likely, I would imagine they'll release 1 character added per expansion. And that way you still end up at the 7 as before. It's just, it won't be such a dramatic thing with each release individually.
Would you like to have like 9 heroes? No, that would be excessive.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Definitely a no there.
As for how many classes they're going to release for each expansion, I have no idea. They did 2 for the first one that they released for Diablo 2. Well, the only one they released for Diablo 2. But I don't know if they'd go with 2 for the first expansion for Diablo 3.
I'm gonna have to say Uray would be a freaking awesome expansion idea, especially since it was kind of the key center point for the best of the Diablo lore books, which was the Kingdom of Shadow. Pretty much everyone that's read all the books tends to agree that's the best one.
Is Uray that place that's built into the side of the mountain?
Yes, it is.
That we see in the video, but we don't actually get to go see in Diablo 3 yet. Hopefully in an expansion.
Correct. And that would, like I say, just based on the story alone, it would be a place worth visiting.
Definitely. We're going to kind of wind things down to a close here pretty soon. So, any last minute questions you want to get in? Topics for discussion, that type of thing. Next show is going to be show 16. We're going to be covering Diablo 2 again. The usual show. We're going to be moving on to Act 3, however, which is everyone's favorite act. So yeah, we should have some good discussion on Diablo 3 for our next show, which, if everything goes to plan, will be recorded next Friday.
I got one for the discussion here. Looking at the concept art drawings, what do you guys see that raises a lot of questions? And no, there's really not much going on in the forums, Chick. Mostly just people arguing about petty things and whether or not hardcore PvP should have, practice mode.
There's been, no news, so people are pretty much just, beating a dead horse with topics, or just, going crazy, wanting news, so they'll bring up stupid things like, hey, what about this? And then other people will troll it and be like, no, that's stupid. You should die. Blah, blah, blah. Being how people are on forums, So until Blizzard releases some new news, we're all kind of sitting here with our thumbs up our butts, waiting for something shiny to come out.
Yeah, hold on. I'll link you a concept art thing here. Let's see.
While you do that, I'm going to do the usual spiel. We are on iTunes. We have a grand total of 10 reviews or something like that, which I think, from the numbers I gather from checking out the site stats and metrics and everything like that, we have a few hundred listeners every week, which 10 reviews, few hundred listeners doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So if you would be so kind, just hop on iTunes and give us a review. We'd greatly appreciate it because it makes us feel good about ourselves. Live shows. Live shows happen every 5th show. So this is the 15th. The 20th will be another live show. Hopefully we'll have some news by then and it won't be such a drag like this one. I mean, the live shows we did in the past have been great. There was a lot of information, a lot of topics to discuss. They were a lot of fun. I enjoyed them a lot. Not to say that I didn't enjoy this one, but the other ones were very fun. And if you've not listened to them, you can check those out at theworldston'tkeep.wordpress.com. There you can find all our shows, every show we've ever done. I think on iTunes, if you subscribe through that, you can only get the last 5 or something episodes. I still haven't figured out why that is. But yeah, you can get them all at theworldston'tkeep.wordpress.com. We are also on Facebook. That is where I make regular updates to let you know what's going on, where I am in the editing process, and so forth. So you can like us on Facebook, and yeah, there's that. Blood Penguin on the forums whenever I post, which is rare, especially now since there's not really any topic to discuss. And as always, thank you for listening. We wouldn't be doing this if there was nobody listening, so fan input is important, especially for the live shows.
I will post the 2 most interesting out of all of the concept art drawings.
What's your take on Tyrael? Is he bad or is he good? This is actually a very good topic. I like this topic, and I wish Ken was also here to discuss it. But I believe we have touched on this before.
Yeah.
Jordan mentions
Outside the realm of morality.
he can't be bad. He's my hero. Yes, it would be sad if Tyrael was bad. But from what we've covered in the lore before, how he saved humanity in the first place from being wiped out, I don't see Tyrael changing his attitude and going bad. As for other angels, though, that's, wide open.
Well, see, that's one of the reasons why I posted that link there. If you look at concept art number 55.
I believe, as soon as this loads for me, give it a sec. Yeah, this is the concept art that I actually looked up, where I thought that was actually Tyrael. It shows an angel with red fiery wings, and there's also a transitional concept art picture. I don't know which one it is, but I'll put both of them in the show notes for this show, where it shows an angel transitioning into presumably an evil being.
Right. The trademark card, so to speak, of Tyrael was always blue.
Right.
And that's why his wings are blue, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, the 2 angels that are known to have fiery wings were Imperius, who was pretty much the one gunning for Sanctuary's destruction, part of the Yanger's Council. And in addition to him, you had Anarius, who actually was one of the founders of the world, and was punished and taken by Mephisto into hell, and et cetera, et cetera. So, that's what's really intriguing about that concept art you were just talking about. Why would Tyrael be transitioning into a fiery-winged angel? Perhaps either Tyrael could be going bad, or it could be that another angel was using him as disguise. In other words, you have one angel posing as another, perhaps.
Interesting. I just found the link, so I'm going to post it up for everybody to check out. That is with the live show, and of course I'll throw it in the show notes. There's that link. So yeah.
And check out number 20 as soon as you get the chance.
20...
some
sort of chamber?
Idea.
That's what I'm getting from number 20.
What's going on 25? Hold on, I'll just flip back here. I would say that's just an artistic design.
Right, level design.
Right. Now, on the one that I posted, number 20, what do you see in the picture?
I see a 1,000-pounder or some sort. Circular chamber.
If it was 1,000-pounder, though, why would he be chained up?
I don't know. No idea.
Now, this is a theory that I've had for quite some time, and if any of you remember some of the original lore for Diablo 1, the actual fate of Inarius, according to the Diablo 1 lore, was that once Mephisto took him and his followers down into hell, he, wanted to torture them, of course, but what he did to the followers, he distorted their form, hooked them, ripped things out of proportion.
Yeah.
You had the
He pulled them to pieces and turned them into the butcher. Dang it, I just forgot what they are called, but
overlords.
The overlords. That's where the overlord. It was the lore for the overlords was that they were the followers of Inarius who were captured and mutilated.
Huh.
Right. Now, remember what they said happened to Inarius specifically. Do you remember that part of it?
Forced to be in a room full of mirrors.
Right. They placed hooks all throughout his body, distorted his form, ripped out his eyelids in a room full of mirrors, and forced him to look at his distorted form for eternity. So, when you look at this concept art drawing, it's round, the side parts look like they could be mirrors that are broken down, and you see a fat guy hooked up to chains, with chains in the center of the room.
Right.
So, that's my big theory there.
Poor son of a bitch, whoever he is.
Inarius. Like I say, Inarius pretty much severely angered the three.
Fate worse than death.
Yeah, that'd be pretty rough. Right on up there with the fate of Lilith being cast out into the void for all eternity.
Oh, no thanks.
She could return as a boss. That's highly probable since she did return from the void once before. That would make a fantastic boss.
It would. As long as it wasn't just Endariel reskinned dark.
Yeah, she did have a lot of different characteristical traits that were... I would say she'd have, goat hooves, very serpentine when you get into the upper body, and she'd have kind of a mix between really scary demonic plus, hey, look, boobies, that kind of thing.
Sounds gross.
So, she would have that in common with
Endariel.
As well as, Sarah Kerrigan, probably.
Ooh.
But, we'll see.
Me and Kerrigan, man. I haven't played StarCraft in forever.
I could seriously see rescuing inadvertently Inarius and not knowing it, and having him be a boss later is a real possibility for the game, though. Just looking at that concept art. Because you see the little hero drawn out there, and he's tiny by comparison, being like, what the heck is this blocking my path?
I just had an idea. What if we did a concept art show where it's a live show and we have everybody go to the D3 concept art page and we scroll through each one by one and discuss thoughts?
In the if we recorded the show and did work on it later, Dan, do you think you could put the concept arts into each part of the actual show
as a video?
Yeah, like slideshow.
That would be awesome. You can stream a damn picture.
Hey, if worse comes to worse, I'll turn on my webcam and point it at my ginormous screen. That's like, 26 inches or whatever it is.
There's a lot of pictures, and I think it involves in downloading each one, loading them up, and then clicking through each one. And I don't know if you can get the audio when you're showing a picture like the way Ustream does their producer thing. I don't know. We'll try and figure it out, though.
Yeah, it'll be something to kick around. Concept number 39. Let's see.
Maybe if there's no news by show 20, then we'll just go ahead and do that. The concept show. The concept show.
Oh, I'm going in the wrong direction.
Did you say 39?
He did indeed.
Oh, that's the spider chick.
Oh, spider chick.
What's her name?
The Mistress of Pain.
Yeah, there we go. Mistress of Pain. Dude, she's got severed heads on chains hanging around. Oh, that's gross.
Yep, and Dan has got to go.
Yep, I do too, actually. So we're going to go ahead and end this puppy. Thank you all for showing up to the live show. It will be up on iTunes and the blog ready to download when I edit it. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not, but sometime this weekend probably. So look forward to that. Next show will be next week. If anything happens other than that, look on Facebook and I'll let you know if it won't show up, if it will show up. All that. Just go to Facebook, The Worlds Don't Keep, like us on there. You'll get regular updates. And on that note...
This seems to be a note from me and Ken to not try and do 6 things at once.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
Hopefully you enjoyed the live show. I enjoyed this one. If you haven't heard the other ones, you should definitely download them because they were a lot of fun too. Some good D3 discussion in there, in here, and more to come. As always, we will see you all next time on The Worlds Don't Keep. Say goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Bye, everybody.